Cinema Steven here, and this is your review for Dusk for a Hitman, the newest feature from Saban Films. And I was lucky enough to be given the screener for an advanced screening of this film by Harpoon Productions. So I am glad that this is the first international film that I'm getting to review. It's all French, and I'm giving it a little bit of that international flavor, so that's pretty good. As for the movie is a true story based on the life of Donald Lavoie, who was a hitman for a Montreal crime family there in the early 80s, late 70s. The movie begins in 79 and it progresses towards the early 80s as it goes through his journey of being a hitman to eventually becoming an informant. Now, I guess it's kind of spoilers if you don't know the story, but he's pretty prominent in Quebec and Canada, Montreal, so his exploits were pretty well known there. So I guess if you've heard of him there, it's not really much of a spoiler. But as far as the movie, Donald Lavoie is played by an actor named Eric Bruno, and he is actually really good. He's got a very nice quality about him that I could see him actually crossing over into American cinemas. He's got a certain look to him. He's got a certain suave personality. I mean, I guess that's what plays into the character here because he's actually playing Donald Lavoie in a very sullen, quiet manner. And that's kind of like the rest of this movie. It's not fast paced. It's pretty slow, very methodical, and it's a character study. There's not a lot of action in it, but there is some pretty grimy and gory kill scenes. And I think that's what is so shocking about this movie is that you're in a quiet, sullen nature about it, and then all of a sudden comes this act of total barbarism and gory brutality by Donald Lavoie. And I guess that speaks to his character. He's very quiet. He's a family man. So there's kind of like a Dexter-esque quality to him where he's living a double life. He's trying to balance that life and also trying to stay loyal to his boss, who he's been loyal to pretty much his entire life. He was running for him as a kid all the way up and as an adult. And man, the loyalties that he's showing to his boss is pretty crazy. It even goes so far as to him debating whether or not he's going to kill his own brother. And there's a lot of family dynamics like that into this movie. And like I said, whenever it comes to streaming, I highly recommend you watch Dusk for a Hitman. It's not too short, so there's a pretty good story here. It doesn't just wrap things up in an hour and a half or anything like that, so that's good. But the film is definitely anchored by Eric Bruno, and I'm telling you right now, you're going to be seeing this guy in American films pretty soon. He's got a good look to him. He's a really good performer. He goes from nice, oh, I'm a nice family man to all of a sudden I'm gonna stab you 20 times and you know headshot you like John Wick. I mean, he's pretty brutal. He does some brutal stuff in this movie. But if you can't really take that, then you probably shouldn't be watching this movie anyway. But overall, it's a good crime story. I like that it was set in the 80s. It was nice seeing something like that too because the period it looks authentic how they shot it, the costumes, the cars, the settings, the production design, everything worked out very well. So, I recommend Dusk for a Hitman.